Hi, welcome to the second coming of unbelief. If you haven't watched the other videos, I skinned my nose and I'm making several videos at the same time. Um, so we're reading through the Bible, and I went to double check. Some things just didn't seem right. Um, so I thought Joshua drove out all the people, but evidently he didn't. Whoever wrote Joshua and Judges, I understand that was the Deuteronomist. He needed a justification for people to fight each other. There's, there's really no archaeological evidence that, just like there's no evidence for the Exodus and the crossing of the Red Sea and the wandering in the wilderness and the crossing the Jordan River and falling with the walls of Jericho. There's no evidence for any of that. Well, just exactly the same. Um, we got taught from children. The Bible was written from start to finish in one continuous fell swoop. It was very journalistic. This was, history, verifiable history. Well, I thought God drove everybody out, but no, He didn't. Um, and I never noticed as a kid, but reading through Judges, Judges 1, chapter 1 says there were some people on the plains that God didn't drive out because they had iron chariots. What about the omnipotence of God? Isn't God strong enough to defeat iron? I mean, God completely all-powerful. That's one of the stories they didn't really teach us. That's another story they didn't teach us. 2 Kings 3, we'll get there later. The Moabites were getting their asses whooped, and so the king of Moab sacrificed his son on top of the wall to the god Chemosh, and oops, Jehovah isn't strong enough to beat a child sacrifice. We didn't learn about that in Sabbath school. Didn't learn about Omar and Tamar. Didn't learn about the Levite and concubine. Didn't learn about the king of Moab sacrificing his son. We did learn about Jael nailing Sisera's head to the floor. But we didn't learn the other stories in Sabbath school. Nobody, back to the story of Onan, nobody taught us that whacking off was wrong until the 80s and 90s, and or unless your parents read too much Ellen White. She does talking about the sin of self-abuse. Otherwise, nobody talked about that stuff. Now, I'm jumping all over. One more story from Joshua. The sun stood still so they could kill more people. Well, look, this assumes that the world is a flat disk and the sun rotates on some kind of an axis over, in an arc over Earth. And we know that is not the case. So, no, the Bible is not a journalistic work of history. It didn't happen that way. I'll catch you again. I've rambled long enough. Thanks for watching Second Coming of Unbelief, and I will catch you on the next video.